Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there we go. We are off and we're running. It's another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you, hanging out live. We are live once again. We were on the road yesterday at Bill Penny Toyota. Today, we're hanging out in a little bit more, I guess you could say, peaceful settings. There is no air guns or oil changes or anything like that happening.
There's mowers, though.
There are mowers and sprinklers and everything, but there is a slight dew on the grass as we are live this morning from Cherokee Ridge Country Club out here just south of Huntsville on 231. Only a hop, skip, and a jump from Huntsville. So if you want to, beginning at 8 o'clock this morning, it is today's zone deal. I know we usually do them on Fridays, but we're doing this one today on a Thursday because it is the opening round of the U.S. Open golf tournament there in the L.A. Country Club. So we thought, hey, why not? Let's do a zone deal for Cherokee Ridge. $65 is going to get you a round of golf for two and a cart here at Cherokee Ridge beginning at 8 o'clock this morning. And what better way to come out here and kickstart your weekend than come out here to Cherokee Ridge. Beautiful this morning. It's beautiful out here.
Yeah, it is. And I've been to Falcon Crest Jr. 3 times now. And I call this, is there
a show that was a sub-show below Falcon Crest?
Dynasty? I don't know, but see, I don't ever remember that kind of there being
Dallas?
I don't know, maybe, but I mean, I did pass some farm with some cows on the way in, so there was cattle everywhere in Dallas, so I guess you could say Dallas, but
South Fork,
or something like that.
South Fork is where they go.
But it's no, but I've learned my lesson. I have pants on today. I mean, there's usually a breeze coming through here because we're kind of in a wind tunnel.
Yeah,
but it feels good though. It feels great out here. The golf course looks great, and we've enjoyed being out here. Every time we've been out here at Cherokee Ridge, it's been great. They're great hosts, and I'm sure the zone deal is going to go quickly. I mean, we'll see if it'll go in 10 minutes like our last one did, but we'll see. I mean, certainly every time we've had Cherokee Ridge on and they've been on with the zone deal, it has not lasted long, folks. So within an hour, you better get that zone deal for that Father's Day present or birthday, graduation, whatever you want, whatever you need. Like Scott said, $65 for a round of golf and a cart for two.
All right, so we will have Pete Sands on here in just a little bit. Talking about the golf course here and talking about the U.S. Open. By the way, it will not get started until 6:45 West Coast time. So at 8:45 our time is when the first group of golfers will actually go off on the course. So we've got a little bit of time before that. So the big announcement yesterday came on the SEC network, the made-for-TV announcement. I mean, really, these whole scheduling things have turned into
why even
drama.
have it, though? I mean, everything was leaked out before you even saw it anyway.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, social media these
They're
days.
like, watch the TV.
Watch the TV.
All you have to do is refresh your Twitter account, and you're going to find it out.
Well, we found out early in the morning, that Oklahoma and the Texas.
Right after we left, I got off the show.
Yeah, so Alabama in 2024, these are going to be their away games. Conference games. LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. Their home games are going to be Auburn, Georgia, Missouri, and South Carolina. You look at their road game non-conference-wise, they have a trip to Wisconsin in there as well in 2024. That is Auburn's schedule. Auburn away games, Drew, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and Missouri. Home games, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. So that is Alabama and Auburn's. Now, Georgia, away games, Alabama, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Texas. Home, Auburn, Florida. And the Florida game will be in Jacksonville, but they will be the home team. Mississippi State and Tennessee. Were there surprises to you in this schedule?
Not really. I mean, I had
Did the SEC get it right?
I had a funny feeling that that at least that Mississippi State or Ole Miss would be off the schedule, and it turned out both of them were. I mean, we've kind of talked about that. So for the first time since 1947, after this coming season, Alabama will not play Mississippi State. So they're not going to play Ole Miss for the first time in a long time. Because both of those have been traditional rivals throughout time for Alabama. So that's going to take some getting used to. But see, that's where you have to kind of understand, and that's the reason I think that the 9-game schedule is inevitable, because the thing is, you would at least play everybody every 2 years, and then you would have 3 permanent opponents. So you wouldn't have the a lot of these rivalries, while they would be interrupted slightly, it wouldn't be one of those things that was going to really upset the apple cart.
Right.
And again, it's just something you also have to understand with conference expansion. When you've got 16-team leagues and all that kind of stuff, there are going to be changes, man. There are going to be changes where you don't play teams that you've played traditionally all the time, especially when they get rid of divisional play. And don't forget, I know it's been over 30 years ago, but when Arkansas and South Carolina came into the league, and then of course we've had Mizzou in the league now about 10 years, Texas A&M. So there's always been new teams coming in, but the thing about it is like, I like the fact that hopefully in the very near future you're going to play everybody within 2 years, and then if a young man signs with your school, he is going to end up playing against everybody during his career, should he play 3, 4, 5 years in the SEC. Because to me, it's dumb to not play Georgia for, Alabama finally played him in 2020 after not playing him since 2008. It doesn't make any sense to go like 12 years. Now, could you? And what I mean by that is regular season. Yes,
not
they
SEC championship.
They played an SEC championship.
Yes, that's where they frequently have met.
And now what's interesting is that you're going to have to get used to as well. There's a possibility, as crazy as it sounds, that you might have to play the same team 3 times. And what I mean by that is...
you could play them in the regular season.
You play them in the regular season. If you finish in the top 2 in the SEC overall, you'd play them in Atlanta in the SEC championship.
You could play them in the playoffs.
I'm just telling you, America,
no, you could.
Get ready for this. If you're in the SEC championship game, and I'm talking about whether you win or lose, you're going to be in the playoff. To me, you're going to be 2 of the top 12. Now, does that guarantee that the SEC is going to have 3 or 4 teams every year? No, it doesn't. There could be an off year, but I would say that it would almost guarantee you'll have 2.
Will the SEC get penalized
3 times
in 24? Will they get penalized for playing an 8-team schedule?
I mean,
do you think the committee will ultimately sit there?
We don't know
yet.
We haven't even seen what the committee's going to do. I really don't know. I mean, I will say this though, and I've already.
These schedules look daunting. I mean, these schedules
look. They do. I mean, yet you see, people on social media saying Alabama ain't playing nobody. Ain't playing. What are you talking about?
Look at their road schedule in 24. They're going to go to LSU, go to Oklahoma, go to Tennessee, and go to Wisconsin in 2024. That's where their road games are going to be. You cannot say Alabama doesn't play anybody on the road.
Some of them are complaining and goes, well, they're playing Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Well, did you wake up and look at who else they're playing? I mean, good Lord.
Auburn, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Wisconsin.
And as much as I have criticized Georgia's schedule this year for being weak, hell, it ain't weak in 2024. I mean, they're playing, they're playing a very, very difficult schedule. So within the SEC and even out of conference. So I'll be honest with you. I know we had that Nicole Auerbach ridiculousness from yesterday or whatever.
Taking shots at the SEC without calling out.
There's not going to be any issue in 2024 if Georgia and Alabama play at a high level of them not having schedule strength.
Right.
Okay. Both of them are playing very difficult schedules. And, of course, if Wisconsin – and I think actually Wisconsin's going to be solid. I mean, Luke Fickell's a hell of a coach. I mean, that's who they hired from Cincinnati.
Wisconsin's going to be a top 25 team probably when Alabama.
And you're playing them on the road. So
right.
you can't say, blah, blah, blah. She was bringing up FCS opponents and all this stuff. I mean, of course, she left out the fact that the Big Ten plays half the MAC. And the MAC is barely above an FCS level league anyway. So who cares, out of convenience there. She probably is from the north. But anyway, I'm just saying, I mean, but the SEC, especially at the top of the heap, and it's going to be a deep league because, again, yes, OU is kind of rebuilding under Brent Venables, and we certainly know Sark's trying to rebuild Texas, but both of them have a lot of resources. And I'll just say this, if you consider Texas and Oklahoma in the middle of the pack in your league,
right?
At least when they first get there, that shows the strength of your conference because those two programs, especially Oklahoma, has been dominating the Big 12, Scott. I know that Oklahoma didn't win it last year.
Right,
Oklahoma wasn't very good because they were rebuilding, but you saw what Lincoln Sharman was doing before he left town and ran from the SEC like a scalded dog because, I mean, he'd been dominating the Big 12.
In 2024, Oklahoma State will be the premier football team in the Big 12.
Well, I mean, Wofford could be. I mean, TCU. I mean, they might be. I mean, they had a good year last year. But I will say TCU was picked 7th. So they kind of came out of nowhere. But TCU will probably be up there.
Oklahoma State will be one of the top teams in the Big 12 in 2024 after Oklahoma and Texas make their departure from the league.
I mean, when we don't even know what's going to be interesting is I think we all understand that especially the Big 12 is not going to stand pat. They're going to look different. I mean, my whole point is,
Colorado.
How much different is the Pac-12 going to look? Is there even going to be a Pac-12? I mean, are they going to merge with another conference? It's just really interesting.
It is. All right. We have got to let's get our first break in. When we come back, we'll run down some of the other schedules.
I got a little worried until
I put a chair behind the banner, so hopefully the chair holds.
I just didn't want us to be on one of those YouTube videos or GIFs where everything's falling on our heads. I had to look real quick. I was like, okay, we're good.
Oh,
okay. It's like the Leaning Tower with the Red Bull. I didn't really know what was going on.
It is. It's leaning there.
Okay.
All right. We got to get a break in. When we come back, we'll run down some of the other schedules. We want your opinion, 256-576-4977. Your thoughts on the 24 SEC schedules.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Not much to the ride in this morning. Everything's been running along smoothly. We did pick up one wreck at Drake and Lehman Ferry. It came in as a no injury, so it sounds like it'll move out of the way pretty quick. Popeye's Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp, a signature side, and a buttermilk biscuit for $6. Popeye's University and Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye's Skywatch Traffic Center.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to maintain the opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, though it does look like we're going to get a significant period of dry time. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky once again for your Friday, but it is going to be a little bit warmer with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into your Saturday. Partly sunny sky, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s with an isolated shower certainly possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. We're live from Cherokee Ridge on a beautiful 66-degree June morning here at Cherokee Ridge. A little bit of a breeze coming in. We're here. This week's Zone Deal. Coming up at 8 a.m. We're dissecting those SEC schedules a little bit for 2024. And if you look at it, and you made a point during the break, and you just looked at Auburn's schedule,
yeah.
We said for the first time since 1947, Alabama's not playing Mississippi State. Auburn, by the way, and you pointed this out in the break, they're not playing any Mississippi schools either.
Yeah, it's really strange. Nobody from the state of Alabama is playing anybody from Mississippi, which is really, really I guess if you would have asked me about a surprise for there, if that's a surprise, yes. I would have thought they would have played one of them. Maybe not both, we understand, with Oklahoma and Texas coming into the league, but one of them, yes, just because you have long-standing rivalries with both Ole Miss and State. And I'm talking about before divisional play and then after divisional play in the 90s, 92 going forward, both Alabama and Auburn played Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So that it's almost like you add Oklahoma and Texas, and so that's what, at least for now, that's what they sacrificed. Yeah. You're not playing the Mississippi schools, which is really interesting. Now, you're not playing both Oklahoma and Texas either. You're playing one of the two, but it's just really interesting that Alabama is not playing them.
Auburn drew Oklahoma at home, so
right.
Oklahoma will travel to Auburn.
That'll be interesting.
Georgia, if you look at Georgia's schedule, they do not have Missouri nor Vanderbilt on their schedule. A lot of people are saying, well, and Georgia's taken a lot of heat this year because their 2023 schedule is absolutely, I mean, outside of playing Tennessee and perhaps Florida. I don't know if Billy Napier can get Florida going in that right direction. You look at Georgia's schedule this year and you're like, ugh, I don't see an L there at all. Maybe Josh Heupel, when they have to travel to Knoxville, I believe, this year, that could be a roadblock. But Georgia will have Clemson in the non-conference portion in 2024.
Plus a brutal SEC schedule.
Plus road games at Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas, and Kentucky as well.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule will be very difficult in 24. There's nothing you can say. I mean, just like Alabama's. There won't be a Nicole Auerbach column saying Alabama and Georgia are playing weak sauce. I mean, because out of conference, you're playing Clemson if you're Georgia in Atlanta, and then Alabama's going to Wisconsin, okay, which I still think will be an upper-tier Big Ten program. So, I mean, that's both those teams will definitely pass the eye test from a scheduling standpoint. I mean, there's people worried that they'll schedule themselves out, and that's why some are saying they're not going to 9 SEC games. It's money. They'll go to 9 SEC games. That's where, to me, when you go to the 9-game schedule, you'll see Ole Miss or State come back on the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but I mean, and then again, with a 9-game schedule, and if you have 6 rotating 3, there's not really a time to complain, because if you might skip a team for a year, but then you'll see them again. Every 2 years, you're going to play people. And so there's not going to be a prolonged absence of a team off your schedule, and I think that's why eventually the SEC will go to 9.
All right, Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, by the way, their 2024 look will be Auburn, Florida, Mississippi State, South Carolina. Their home games are going to be Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Texas. So what is a greater thing happening? Texas A&M can make it to the SEC championship game where Bobby Petrino is still the offensive coordinator.
Or Dirt Neck's still the coach.
Or is Jimbo Fisher even,
is he selling, cattle somewhere in Dallas, the reality show, because he got bought out? But I mean, he wouldn't have to coach anymore, Scott, because he'll get like $60 million. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So unless he does a Bitcoin thing or whatever the hell and blows it all, I mean, he's going to have all his money. So I mean, I'm just saying, crypto or whatever the hell you call it.
Cryptocurrency.
I have somebody on Instagram hitting me up about that all the time. So,
those don't buy any of that.
I'm not buying any of that. No.
That's
crypto trader.
What, Bailey?
Or what?
Yeah, don't do it.
Not touching that.
That is. Remember back in the day, you'd get the email from the Prince of Saudi telling you that he needs. He could give you $1 million if you give him whatever. He just needs. Yeah, don't do that one.
Okay. I just fell off a turnip truck, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, good Lord, there's no way. So, I mean, but like I said, what'll be more interesting is, can Jimbo Fisher make it to the 9-game schedule? That's what I'm wondering, because he might be able to go 7-5 or 8-4, but they're not paying him to go 7-5 and 8-4. You know what I'm saying? And of course, he didn't even do that last year.
Right.
But
do you think, though, when we go? I mean, it is just 1 year removed from 23, and yes, you're right. We got to go through 2023, and there's a lot to talk about in the 2023 cycle of who can get to the national championship game and all this, and Joel Klatt will weigh in a little bit later on that for us.
Yeah.
But in 2024. I was looking at the Big Ten, and they were saying that if they had scrapped divisions 4 years ago, we would have seen Michigan and Ohio State. That we would have seen them in the Big Ten championship game repeatedly because they are the best of the best in the Big Ten.
They didn't have divisions, yeah.
Right. Do you think the SEC, with going away from divisions, do you think we're going to see more Alabama, Georgia in the SEC championship game? Or, I mean, is it going to become a 1, 2, 3 horse race every year to get to Atlanta?
Well, it's hard to say. What the landscape looks like right now is Alabama, Georgia, but again, we'll see how much Oklahoma can improve themselves. Texas can improve themselves. LSU took some strides under Brian Kelly. How good are they going to be? And then Tennessee, was this an aberration, or is Tennessee truly back? Because I'm not ready to say Tennessee's a top 10 program again. It was 1 year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I've seen teams have one good season and fall back. I mean, think about Dirt Neck in 2020. I mean, they gave him a raise because they still think they should have been in the playoff, and they went 9-1, and they certainly didn't go 9-1 the next year. So we'll see if Tennessee can stack some wins and stack some seasons on top of each other. That's how you – and then Florida, because Florida – they have a great natural recruiting base. I do think Billy Napier's recruiting at a high level, no question about that. And so I'm going to be very interested to see, overall how, these, and even Hugh Freeze, how quickly can he improve Auburn? Auburn is very polarizing, and I don't say that in a negative way, because what I mean is, I don't really know what to expect of Auburn. I do think they're definitely going to be better.
Yeah, you're looking
I'm just
at
talking
this.
about this year and then by 2 years from now.
Yeah.
They're going to be better, but at the same time, how quickly will these portal guys all mesh this year?
Yeah,
if they mesh quickly,
yes.
how well is Auburn going to recruit, and how quickly can they improve their roster? Because if they do and they make a quick jump, then Auburn will be in the mix to be at the top of the league as well. Now, in a way, not having divisional play might hurt some of these teams because, again, you're like an Auburn or even a Tennessee, because you've got to jump over more teams to get there. Like, in theory, if your division had a bad year, that's what I mean. If there wasn't a great team, and there wasn't, Alabama had a really good year last year, but they didn't have one of their great teams.
Right.
That's why LSU was able to win the division, because they didn't have to jump over at Georgia. Because last year, think about it, Scott. There could have been a situation where that almost where Georgia and Tennessee, if Tennessee had not lost to South Carolina, would have played again in the SEC championship game.
Because LSU
because it was kind of a mediocre year in the West. So now you got to almost jump over more teams, and you got Oklahoma and Texas to jump over. So, but the only other caveat you've got, which is kind of the raft the rescue raft they throw you, is with a 12-team playoff, you can still get 3 or 4 teams in the SEC, even if you're not in the top 2 to get to the SEC championship game. Say you lose 2 to 3 games, but you have good schedule strength, or that brings in the Nicole Auerbach argument.
Right.
But I just think if you end up doing your job and you say you don't make the SEC championship game, but you're still 10-2, then you'd have a very strong case that'll still get you into the playoff without even playing in the championship game. And again, there'll be people climbing the roof, they're not a conference champion. Well, shut up. You wanted a bigger playoff, so this is what it opens it up to, because the SEC is, the late great Dusty Rhodes used to say, that's where the big boys play. Or as Stone Cold used to say, get out of the bush leagues and come to the major leagues. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play with the best.
Texas and Oklahoma are experiencing
they got out of the bush leagues, and they're trying to get to the major leagues.
I mean, you want to talk about something fun. Check out the Oklahoma and Texas message boards in the last 24 hours. They're all excited about joining the SEC, and then they get their first schedules.
And then they're bitching like all get out.
Texas has,
where's Texas Tech?
Texas has Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Then they get Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. That's Texas's welcoming party to the league. And then Oklahoma has Auburn, LSU, Missouri, Ole Miss on the road. Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas in Dallas at home. Those are the games for those two. So welcome to the SEC.
There's only one Vandy, bro. There might be 4 or 5 in the Big 12. But there's,
I'm going over that and looking. I mean, Kansas was Vanderbilt for a while.
They were
They had a
giving
good
away
year
free
this
tickets.
year. Does Lance Leopold keep them atop?
Well, a good year.
I mean,
they were 6-0. I think they ended up about 500.
Right, but still, though, I mean, that's better than 1 win, 2 wins. Vanderbilt has a 6-win season every now and then,
has
too.
been dangerous at times, but then they've been inconsistent.
Right. Kansas State has been
But I'll be
formidable.
blunt. I mean, Ole Miss and Mississippi State are tougher than Iowa State.
Oh, no, I'll give you that.
And Oklahoma, they're gonna find out about the clanger when they go to Mississippi State.
When they go to Baton Rouge, and especially if it's played at night.
Oh, Lord. Because they're used to these 11 a.m. kickoffs with Dumb and Dumber, remember? And the bathrooms don't work, and they run out of water, and they run out of hot dogs and everything before halftime.
Or people's letting you in the gates for free to go watch a football game.
There won't be any of that.
I believe that was Kansas and Oklahoma where they were letting them in for free.
I think in Sark's first year they lost to Kansas in Lawrence.
I think they did. You're right.
I'm just telling you, Sark, if you lose at Vanderbilt, you might as well pack up your stuff and get out of here. I almost said something else. But,
we got. Please don't say that something. Because I know what you were wanting to say.
I know. Yeah.
Don't say it.
Oh.
You've said it before.
Oh, we have on this show.
Dude, we got to get a break.
Forgive me, Mrs. Acuff.
Oh,
and that is Lenny's mother.
It's 7:30. We got to get a break in. I'm going to see if Pete Sands, I know he's here. Let's see if Pete Sands can join us on the other side. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Yeah.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They should be just about complete on that accident on Drake at Lehman Ferry. That one came in as a no injury. Traffic level heavy all across the valley. You're bumper to bumper. Be careful. Put some extra room in there if you can. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Heary, heary! If you want freedom and independence from those high temperatures and those high utility bills, there's only one place to give a ring to, and that is Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us from Talent Heating and Air. And Thomas, you've got the independence and the declaration to give customers those breaks.
That's right. We're offering free second opinions and service calls starting at $17.76.
$17.76 for those service calls. And there's only one phone number to call, and that is
256-503-4490.
It's Talent Heating and Air. You can also find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air, giving you the independence and freedom on this 4th of July from those high temperatures and high utility bills.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions? Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com. Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on BHHSRiseRealestate.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to maintain the opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, though it does look like we're going to get a significant period of dry time. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky once again for your Friday, but it is going to be a little bit warmer with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into your Saturday. Partly sunny sky, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s with an isolated shower certainly possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here we go. Welcome back, Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. As we mentioned, we are live from Cherokee Ridge, hanging out on a beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Thursday morning. Don't forget, coming up at 8 a.m., Cherokee Ridge, this week's Zone Deal. $65 is going to get you a round of golf for two and a cart here to Cherokee Ridge, so you can enjoy this beautiful setting. And the director of golf, Pete Sands, kind enough to be with us this morning. Morning, Pete.
Gentlemen, good morning. Pete, how are you, man? I'm doing well. The golf course certainly is.
It is. It is looking chipper this morning.
A little bit of dew on the grass.
Perfect.
In June, though. I mean, this is not June.
It knows it's opening day of the U.S. Open.
I was just going to say, it is a coincidence. It is not a coincidence, I should say, that we are here on the opening day of the U.S. Open, the 123rd U.S. Open, getting ready to start from the L.A. Country Club. And they have not hosted. I mean, they've had some other USGA events out there, but really since 1940, you got to go back all the way, I believe, to the 54 junior amateur is like this. So, I mean, people are going to get to see a golf course they normally don't see in the L.A. Country Club. And there's a lot of people in the Valley that have not seen Cherokee Ridge as well. They need to come out and see it.
That is a shame, and that needs to change in, what's that, 24 minutes when that deal hits?
In 24 minutes,
okay.
Yes.
So, perfect opportunity.
Yes.
Perfect opportunity for Father's Day, too.
Absolutely, yeah. And we got some brand new carts in. So
really?
Yes, I know. That was a surprise for us last Monday. I got a phone call about 48 hours before they were showing up and saying, hey, I got 70 or 60 carts coming your way.
Whoa.
And I said, come on. So
how do they deliver those, man? Some huge truck?
It was a sight to be seen trying to get them to go around the little
roundabout. Man, when I'm going through the neighborhood through here, man, I passed the cows, which was that's always to say hello to them.
But then there's 4 of them now.
We've talked about the cows now twice this morning.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it was just right. I mean, this far from me. And then you have to also remember, like to my window, and then you have to remember, too, you got people. He's talking about his car, the golf carts and stuff. They're driving golf carts around the neighborhood, so you get stuck behind a golf cart. And it's not. I mean, you have to be, you have to be cognizant of that.
Cows and golf carts.
Cows and golf carts.
Yeah, because you're right next to a golf course, so people are driving golf carts into their house.
Well, it is. It's a little hilly. I don't think they're gonna. Not too many walkers.
But I'm just saying, I mean, wow. I mean, it's just people. They know. Hey, go ahead. You're close enough. Interesting.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Exactly. Good morning. It's just you have to be used to it because of the area you're in.
So the golf course is in good shape.
Yep.
Talk about what's going on here, though. Cherokee Ridge.
I mean, it's golfing season. I mean, when you guys were here last, it was kind of the beginning of it. Now we're kind of right in the middle of it. We got the new golf course in great shape. We did some airification 2 weeks ago, and everything's healed up nicely from that. And I mean, we're just pecking away, and got some big announcements coming here in the next few weeks. Would have loved to broke them from this morning, but I'll hold that for another time. But I know.
Give us a hint.
Lots of money.
Does it involve golf?
It involves golf and lots of money.
There we go. So you joined the Live Tour.
Or the PGA now, right?
Yeah, or the PGA. What the hell they're going to call it.
PIF is coming to take over Cherokee Ridge.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now we just need Czar here with a bullhorn.
Yes.
So he can play with the cows, too.
So you can play with the cows, yes.
It is not the bullhorn the last time.
The announcements are not involving the cows. But no, I mean, listen, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, every time I'm on, I feel like I'm, beating a dead horse or cow, no pun intended.
There you go. We're not doing that,
yeah. But it's a special property. I mean, it is gorgeous out here.
It's a beautiful place. I mean, it just opens up like the Red Sea,
Yeah.
And then you just come out here, and then there it is.
Let's talk about the U.S. Open. Since we got you on here, the 123rd U.S. Open, it's going to start in about an hour out there on the West Coast, out there in L.A., 123rd U.S. Open. Brooks, we saw the LIV guys break through in the last major. There was a lot of questions whether or not they could play 72 holes instead of the 54. They answered that question. What do we think? I mean, the fairways are going to be wide. They're going to be a little bit bigger. There's going to be some drivable holes, but it's going to be a formidable challenge, though.
I love how the USGA set it up. I mean, I was talking to our pro here, and I think we're going to take some things from what they did for some of our tournaments.
Really?
But, I mean, they have 280-yard par threes, but then they have like a 78-yard par three. So they are mixing and matching it. Rough, I hear, is pretty thick. It's and then greens are going to be firm and fast like all U.S. Open. So it should be interesting to see what type of player will kind of
emerge
from the conditions that they put out there. Weather should be good from everything I saw, so I don't think they have to worry about that. It is LA, so.
Well, of course, you guys host tournaments of your own, but what does that merger, the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour, as we have the domino effect and going down, how does that affect you guys at all?
I mean, I think that's a wait and see type thing. I mean, obviously, the idea of it, from what everybody's saying, if they're trying to take a positive out of it, it's like, oh, hey, it's to grow the game. So if that happens, great. More golfers mean, busier business, just like anything else. I think a lot of it was probably blown out of proportion a little bit. I mean, I think it was kind of inevitable that something like that was going to happen. I think it probably happened a lot faster for reasons we're never going to know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was never like the anti-LIV guy. So it was, someone wanted to go get their money, let them go get their money.
When you watch, and you just said something that caught my attention, and you said you were watching the U.S. Open, and you were like, okay, we're going to take some things from there. As a golf course, as a guy that runs a golf course, director of golf here, when you watch the U.S. Open or you watch the PGA Championship and you see holes and you see they're playing 240 here and 280 on this one, it's not going to fall. Yeah. And do you guys look at that and say, you know what? Let's try something like that on our course. Do you look at it at all and try to take an aspect of what you see from a hole here or back up a tee box and say, you know what, we could do that on hole 5 or we could do that on hole 10?
Yeah, I mean, I think the word is like uniqueness. Like, how do you make your tournament stand out?
Yeah.
How do you, make it where it's not just the same clubs being hit for the golfer throughout the day? So, yeah, I mean, we do, we try to make our events stand out, whether it's a tournament we're running or a charity event or just a normal round of golf out here. So yeah, we'll take things that we see positive, and negative, and put a little ridge spin on it. But yeah, I mean, I love how they're setting it up this week. It'll be interesting, and it's going to be nice to watch some golf around the dinner table rather than trying to figure out how.
It's going to be prime time.
It's prime time.
It'll be prime time here because they're out on the West Coast. Do you have a favorite?
Old Brooksy's going to be, I mean, he played well people don't really talk about how well he played in the Masters, too. So, I mean, he was right there in the Masters.
He was through 54 holes.
Yeah, and then so he won the PGA. So it's it is he's going to be tough. And then you got local guys, Max Homa. I mean, all those Southern Cal guys that, could, put a little hometown love on it. But in our little pool here, I got Brooksy winning.
You got Brooks winning.
Yeah.
Well, when we got the zone deal coming up in just, about a little over 20 minutes, you already talked about the 60 new cards, which they'll be able to take advantage of. But for our listeners and the people that are going to be having interest in purchasing a round of golf here. Tell them, just give them an overview of the course, the shape it's in, what's even changed since we were here last.
Yeah, I mean, it gets better every day. I mean, that's our goal, is to get the golf course better every single day. I say out here that, there's golf courses that have, a signature hole that they can, put on a picture and put on a flyer and all that. We have 18 of them. So, I mean, if you were looking for a picturesque golf course that plays very well, because that is very important to us, is, there's courses that look appealing and look great, but they just play terribly. We make sure that that our golf course also plays very well as being able to take that picture, overlooking a waterfall or big the Lake Arrowhead we have out there, some of the undulations that we have throughout the golf course as well.
And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It really is.
18 minutes.
Just.
Yep. And you're here
in less than 30
minutes.
And
you get to wave to Drew's cows.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm talking about like nose next to the window.
I don't know how close were you on the road.
I was going to say, did you pull over?
I was going to say, were you on?
I mean, I was shocked. I turned to my right. I was like, what the? Hey, well, good morning. I mean, he was just chilling.
Were you off the road when you came that close to the cow?
I was not off the road. I mean,
Do not text and drive.
The fence was right next to the road, man. And the cow was just chilling and having a snack. Okay. And it was, I mean, I'm driving up, just, I took the right, and I'm coming in, and it opens up like the Red Sea, but then you look over, you're like, hey, what's up? I mean, you're not expected to be right next to the road. Hey, what's up, man? Okay, thank goodness the fence was there, or it's going to be like, watching Brandon over in near the Grand Canyon, watching bison walk across the road, and all these cars are having to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, by the way, we still haven't talked about your dessert. What in the hell was that? I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, this is over top of my head a little bit.
Let's get a break in.
Big part of this show.
All right, let's get a break in. I'll show Pete a picture of the dessert, and we will talk about what I ate on the West Coast this week.
Did you make a bet for the U.S. Open when you were in Vegas?
Yes.
Your wife wouldn't let you.
No, all that and more when we return. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Had one wreck on Drake near Lehman Ferry. That one should be pretty well wrapped up now. Everything else looks good. Got a lot of folks on the road, though, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of folks running late this morning, so you be extra careful on the rest of your trip in. You could fly Breeze nonstop to Orlando, Las Vegas, or Tampa starting at just $49. What are you waiting for? You could get to the fun faster, and you could book at flybreeze.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
Heary, heary! If you want freedom and independence from those high temperatures and those high utility bills, there's only one place to give a ring to, and that is Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us from Talent Heating and Air. And Thomas, you've got the independence and the declaration to give customers those breaks.
That's right. We're offering free second opinions and service calls starting at $17.76.
$17.76 for those service calls. And there's only one phone number to call, and that is
256-503-4490.
It's Talent Heating and Air. You can also find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air, giving you the independence and freedom on this 4th of July from those high temperatures and high utility bills.
Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in Huntsville is the perfect place to celebrate Father's Day this year. Featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. This week, our zone deal is $50 worth of Cheeseburger Bobby's for half price, just $25. Get yours Friday at 97.7ESPN.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddy'sburgerbar.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to maintain the opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, though it does look like we're going to get a significant period of dry time. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky once again for your Friday, but it is going to be a little bit warmer with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into your Saturday. Partly sunny sky, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s with an isolated shower certainly possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. Welcome back into the show.
I don't think I've been coughing. Have you heard me cough?
I don't know. I've heard you talk about the cows.
Yeah, we've been talking about cows and chocolate. And I don't remember coughing. Now I was coughing yesterday. Maybe the Czar was listening to yesterday's show. I don't know.
Okay, so on Twitter right now,
yeah,
I am putting a picture of the dessert.
Oh yeah, from Vegas.
Yeah, no, this was from Bandon. This wasn't in Vegas.
It wasn't?
No, this was in Bandon, Oregon. It's on the
Bandon,
coast.
Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
No cows.
Yes. Okay, so I'm putting a copy up there and asking people if they would want to try this. So you can actually see what I am talking about when I say the dessert, okay? So if you head to our Twitter page at 977 ESPN, you can see a picture of the dessert that I have. And it's a and Bailey, you can look at it too, and you can see it on Twitter, so we can get your reaction. It's kind of like a tiramisu. It had a chocolate layer of cake that was soaked in espresso with some dark chocolate. It had some chocolate cream, white chocolate cream, with a thin layer of chocolate, a hard layer of chocolate on top. One of the richest desserts I have ever had.
And so you guys had a meal before this.
Right. Well, we had eaten lunch before this, and we ventured into the chocolate shop after lunch.
Oh, so this was just like an after lunch snack?
Yes, this was after lunch, pre-dinner.
Gotcha.
This was like right in that gap of lunch and dinner.
I've heard. Hey, I've been watching a lot of Food Network, as you know I always do. Right. I've heard a new term this week.
What did you hear?
Linner.
Linner?
Yeah, they call it between lunch and dinner. Never heard of it.
Okay.
I've heard of brunch. That's like, in between breakfast and lunch. But Linner, I've never heard of Linner.
I can go with that. So we had a Linner. This was Linner. And
a sweet Linner.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
They also offered, I love hot chocolate. That's one of the drinks that I can have is
and
that
this is where this parted your hair, right? Because you had
offered, so you got espresso shots, right?
Yeah, like Ray Waller. This is the Ray Waller here.
Yeah, you and your coffee. Like that day you tried coffee for the very first time.
Yeah, then I had a seizure the next day.
And
fell out.
Yeah, we're not doing that again.
Hell no,
we're not doing that again.
Coffee.
Anyway, so
it's like a curse.
So they had hot chocolate shots.
Yeah.
And they had 12 different flavors, and they're basically a super concentrated hot chocolate.
Oh.
So I had gotten that first, and then was like, oh, there's this dessert. Let's go with that. So my wife and I split the dessert, but we also each had a hot chocolate shot.
Right.
No. Not good for Scott. Not good for Scott. No. I'm on vacation, so I kind of relax a little bit on what I'm eating.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake. because Scott had a lot of sugar in it's getting a lot closer.
Scott was tingling like me when I had a sugar cookie at the Super Bowl.
I sent you a picture of the dessert.
Yeah.
And I said, now this will make you tingle.
Yeah. No question
Scott
about
was
that.
tingling as well.
Yeah, I can imagine Scott probably was tingling.
Not good.
If you're taking a shot like that, man.
So we did not.
Along with eating that.
Yeah, along with eating the dessert and drinking the super concentrated hot
Ray
chocolate.
Waller.
Yeah, we didn't do that again.
Wow.
But yeah, no, that dessert was fantastic, by the way. And if you're ever in Bandon, Oregon. Don't know why you would be going there.
Almost like Brandon, Oregon.
Yeah, but Bandon, Oregon, beautiful town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the story of my dessert and how I was tingling for
should have asked them if they'd ever met Bill Walton. I was half expected you to come back with a picture of Bill.
I could have checked one of the many dispensaries around Oregon, and I may have found him. Anyway, 256-576-4977. You want to be a part of the program, be a part of the show. We're here at Cherokee Ridge. Don't forget, coming up this morning at 8 o'clock, WZZN.halfoffdeal.com. That is where you can get the half-off deal to Cherokee Ridge. A round of golf for two and a cart for just $65 for Cherokee Ridge. WZZN.halfoffdeal.com.
And don't forget, we said this when we were here back near the week before the Masters or so. By the time we left, I'm talking about getting in our cars to leave to go home.
It was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah,
so
it may be gone that fast.
They go quickly. So when they go live here in a few minutes, you better hurry up.
All right. So Bailey, did you get a pic? Did you get to see the dessert on Twitter?
Do you see it?
Yes, I did. That looked like a tower of chocolate. That's what it looks like to me. Just a absolute tower.
We are connected. It's kind of scared me a little bit.
Chocolate.
Bailey must not be listening to the show this morning.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's all good.
He's only just the producer that pushes the buttons. That's all right. Anyway, we're live here at Cherokee Ridge. Coming up in hour number 2, we are going to bring in our first guest. David Sisk is going to join us. We're going to talk some basketball, some Kentucky basketball, and he's going to weigh in on Grant Nelson to Alabama as well. So we'll have that coming up here in hour 2.
He's on the travel circuit as well, and it's not just this month in pretty much every state now. You've got travel basketball going on. You've got high school travel going on for team camps and stuff. And he's been busy, but he's got an off day today. So we're going to try to catch up with him. Kentucky's very interesting because they're still filling out their roster. I mean, they've got the number 1 recruiting class in the country coming in as far as high school players, but they have approached the portal in an interesting way. Really, John Calipari hasn't been what many people think super aggressive in trying to get some more experienced guys. He just signed a kid, Jordan Burks, out of Hillcrest Prep in Arizona. He was also part of Overtime Elite. And the interesting part about Burks, Scott, is his first year or two of basketball, he was at Austin High School in Decatur, and then moved over to the West Coast and had been committed to Chris Beard and Ole Miss. And I really think he had been decided to reopen his recruitment, and Kentucky showed a lot of interest in him. He's got he's a kid that's 6'8", 6'9", with a lot of potential. Not a one and done though, which is with this kid. So it's going to be interesting to get David Sisk's thoughts on him and how Kentucky may finish out this roster.
All right. 256-576-4977. You can join us later in hour number 2. But don't forget, coming up at the top of the hour, the zone deal for Cherokee Ridge goes live. You can have that at WZZN.halfoffdeal.com. David Sisk will join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline when we turn around from break in 2 minutes.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Baseball today, the Braves at home against Colorado. Atlanta minus 250, Colorado plus 210. The Nationals visit the Astros, Houston minus 210, the Nats plus 185. The Orioles host the Blue Jays, Baltimore minus 130, Toronto plus 120. The A's had their 7-game winning streak snapped last night. They wrap up a series with Tampa today, Oakland plus 185, Tampa minus 210. The NL West leading Arizona Diamondbacks host the Phillies, Arizona plus 120, the Phillies minus 130. Shohei Ohtani starts for the plus 135 Angels at Texas, the Rangers minus 145. The minus 140 Padres host the plus 130 Guardians.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And right now, Cherokee Ridge is your zone deal. You can get a round of golf for two and a cart for just $65. They are going fast, so you better hurry if you want to grab your Cherokee Ridge. 16 of them already gone in 1 minute. So
1 minute.
1 minute, 16 of them gone. So hurry up and get your zone deal here to Cherokee Ridge. All right, hey, I don't know if you saw this or not, but congratulations goes out to Caleb Holt.
Yes.
And we were talking about high school basketball. He was part of Team USA. They bring home the gold medal in the 16 and under Team USA. And Caleb Holt, obviously not doing a lot of team camps right now because he is doing Team USA stuff, but a lot of high school guys doing team camps, as you mentioned. And there's still transfer portal news in college basketball. And there's also a lot of talk around a lot of these SEC programs.
There is, no doubt about it. And he's one of the best in the business. And we always enjoy catching up with him. He is taking some time out of his busy schedule. He will be once again back at it tomorrow on the circuit. But we always enjoy talking with our good friend David Sisk, and he works for Rivals.com, specifically covering the Kentucky Wildcats and UNC, but really basketball as a whole. He's a basketball guy, he's I always say former coach, but you're always a coach, and he still works the travel circuit quite a bit, and he's been kind enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We had a chance to catch up with him during the SEC tournament in the postseason last year, and we're going to catch up with him now as the summer is underway. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Doing great, buddy. How are you doing?
We're doing good. Thanks for joining Scott and I here. Of course, we're out here on the golf course. I know you've been in the gym. I've been in the gym quite a bit, but I know you're going to be back at it tomorrow. But I've been reading your stuff. Really interesting times for Kentucky and John Calipari. He's taking kind of a different approach to the transfer portal. They haven't been uber aggressive with experienced guys. He's signing an unbelievable high school recruiting class. But it's interesting. I know it's frustrated their fan base a little bit that we haven't seen Kentucky, it seems to me, aggressively pursue transfer portal guys.
Yeah, and they've really not been in position to do it. And but here's basically the skinny of it in a nutshell is that they brought in a top-ranked class, recruiting class, and consists of the way John Calipari used to do it.
Yeah.
A bunch of one-and-done type of freshmen coming in. And so we've got guys like Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner, Aaron Bradshaw, Rob Dillingham. And the bottom line is these guys are all top 10 players. They're all 5-stars. They're all projected to go in the 2024 NBA draft. And transfer portal guys, older guys that are good, do not want to come in and know that they're not going to start and play behind individuals like that. So if they thought they could come in and start, I think it'd be an entirely different deal. But, you might find some guy who is not a very good player that's in the portal that might be able, by those standards, that might be able to do it. But those are not going to be guys John Calipari is really interested in. But the good players, the ones that are good enough to help and just not be a practice body, they're not interested in coming in and playing behind an 18-year-old.
So you got John Calipari kind of going back. You kind of mentioned going old school with this recruiting class. Is that a sign that he just didn't have a lot of success right now with the transfer portal, or is he just kind of going back to what's comfortable with him?
Well, I think it just kind of worked out that way. He ended up having a really, really good class. And so you end up, it took, now that you mention it, really took a lot of different things. So I think his original intent was, we signed 5 guys. And the other guy that I didn't mention was Reed Shepard.
Right.
So we
Jeff
signed
Shepard's
those
son.
5 guys. We get Oscar Tshiebwe back. We get Antonio Reeves back. We maybe get Chris Livingston back or somebody like that. And then we'll have a healthy mix of returners. And we'll have these 5 freshmen, and we'll be loaded for bear 2023-24. And if all those guys would have returned, you're talking about one of the better lineups he's had in a while. But the bottom line is, these guys are left. Livingston, Tshiebwe, guys like that. And you've got all these guys that leave from last year, and none of them are going to get drafted. And it's just the most amazing thing. It used to be like it was obvious what was going to happen. If a player did not get guaranteed money that he was going to go in the first round, he came back. But Kentucky's had all these guys leave that are not going to get drafted. So the only 2 they have returning is Adu Tiero and Ugonna Kingsley Onyenso, who last year played 300 minutes total for the season and averaged 4.8 points per game between them. That's all Kentucky's got coming back. And the big thing right now is Antonio Reeves, and it's been back and forth whether he's going to return or not, and that's an interesting story in itself. So now you've only got 2 players coming back who I think could be good players, but didn't contribute last year. Reeves is still on the fence. And, now they go out, Jordan Burks, I know we're going to talk about him. They get him. You get another guy, Joey Hart, who's probably going to commit over the weekend, who committed from Central Florida. And neither one of those guys, I should say Hart especially, not very highly rated, and they may get one more signee who's going to reclass if he can get his grades in order in July. So you could be talking about 8 freshmen and 2 guys returning who average 4.8 points.
Yeah, I mean that's really interesting because with and we are gonna talk about Burks with Antonio Reeves. Is it a situation where with all these 5-star guys coming in, he's another one that's just not sure of his role, and that's why he may grad transfer and move on to another school?
Here's the deal on Reeves, and this is crazy. So he when I was as far back as in Atlanta at the first EYBL session, we're talking late April. I had heard all the way back then that Reeves was going to withdraw from school at Kentucky. So he withdraws and ends up going back to Illinois State to take classes where he was originally at before he transferred to Kentucky. So he's taking classes at Illinois State right now. So here was the deal. He went in the NBA draft. He pulled out of that. He did not enter the transfer portal. That deadline ran out, so the only way he could transfer is to do it as a grad transfer. So he's already played 4 years. He's evidently in the process now of trying to get enough classes to where he can graduate. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. He can't go pro because that deadline's, well, he could, I guess, but, he's not going to get drafted. Nothing like that's going to happen. So it's nuts. And the big question is, the same way I guess we could have with Chris Livingston, why in the world did he not just transfer? So, he's got all that going on. And one big deal was, I heard last year at Kentucky, according to his father, he made less than 5 digits at Kentucky in NIL. And there's talk that Illinois and Michigan are throwing a lot of money out there. I think John Calipari's coming back with a counter offer. We've got this deal. He's trying to figure out if he can graduate or not. We don't even know if he can transfer. That's what we're looking at. I mean, this is straight out of a WWE skit or something. So we don't know how it's going to end up.
Well, and to piggyback off of that, and now you've got this, and it's supposedly been in the works since January, and I'm sure you've heard about it, this La Familia Club or whatever, this NIL type, or I guess it's more of a what you would call a collective that John Calipari is trying to get going.
Yeah. If somebody would approach you 20 years ago about being in the La Familia, would you ran the other way?
Like a mob movie.
So, yeah, that's out there, and basically what it is you're having players jump in to try to help here. Kentucky's collective has been well behind what others have done. That's another thing.
Interesting. Wow.
If you would have said, I'm just putting it out there and being honest, a couple years back, that you're going to have this NIL thing where you can pay players and it's going to be legal, you would have said John Calipari's getting ready to kill everybody. I mean,
exactly. I would have thought that,
And they're just not involved in it. And it's the craziest thing.
Why is that?
Confusing.
Well, why is the apprehension now? I've seen other schools though. I mean, and now Kentucky's not the only one. There's other schools across the country that have been apprehensive about getting in this and being slow to do this. But why Kentucky?
You have a lot of old school coaches. Rick Barnes is one specifically, and you have a lot of old school coaches who don't mind players making money. Some do mind, but some don't mind making money, but they want to see the blood, sweat, and tears go in first before they just hand out. They think it splits up the locker room. We've heard all that. You've got guys that might be making money while they're there or been there, and then you've got some guy who's never even got on campus yet. He's already making 4 times what everybody else is making. I think he really guards against that pretty closely. But, they recruited well out of high school. I just think they maybe thought the Kentucky name would take care of itself, and it's not. So they're getting former players to chip in and contribute to this, and John Calipari will be the first one to tell you his players at Kentucky have made over $3 billion in the NBA. So, he's going to go into that, invest into that. And it's kind of like Tim Corbin did at Vanderbilt, basically funding that program through, ex-major league players that played there. And so, Calipari's doing that. Not the first coach to to go in there, and we're going to see quickly if it works on whether or not Antonio Reeves comes back. We're going to see how effective this is very, very quickly.
And then, of course, we got to talk about Jordan Burks. He started his career here in our community at Austin High School, but he's been out on the West Coast. He's been part of Overtime Elite. Talk about that recruitment and how you see Jordan Burks fitting into Kentucky.
Jordan Burks was one decommitted from Ole Miss when Kermit Davis was let go. Chris Beard comes in, so he decommits. And there really wasn't a lot of talk about who else was involved with him, but Kentucky gets involved, and that's one way they've had to go here, whereas a 20, 21-year-old might not want to sit behind an 18-year-old, but an 18-year-old doesn't mind it as much. So when he gets an offer from Kentucky, and you take a guy who originally committed to Ole Miss, so here comes Kentucky, he's very, very interested, had a good visit, and he was on campus, supported campus before he even announced. So, he was ready to go. A leading scorer in the Overtime Elite, averaged 27 points a game, if I remember that correctly, but was the leading scorer in a league that is full of future NBA players. The Thompson brothers, Rob Dillingham was on the same team with him. It's going to be the starting point guard at Kentucky next year. Nasir Cunningham was on that team, who's a top 5, top 10 player in high school. So he can score. Now, another interesting thing, he's pretty versatile, considered to be more of a wing player, but his high school coach, I talked to him the other night, he insists he can play the 4, and that may be a situation that Kentucky really needs help at. They may not have a pure 4, and I don't think they do. So he may be able to find his way onto the floor because he fits a position of need. There's a question. We don't know how good he is in the half court. Very, very good in the open floor. Very good on the break. If Kentucky runs, he could definitely fit in right there. But he only shot 26% from 3. Evidently is not the best decision maker in half court. So obviously, he's a young kid, and he's going to have to grow while he's there. But from everybody that I've heard, including college coaches and NBA scouts, he has NBA talent if he can get everything channeled in. It's going to be up to him. He's going to have to take coaching, but the talent level's there.
Finally, I know this is going to be veering off of Kentucky, but what are your thoughts on Alabama picking up Grant Nelson, looks like?
Yeah, and it's going to be, I've used the word interesting a lot. I need to use another word. It's going to be intriguing, I guess, how he is used. You guys can probably tell it no better than me. I was told last week when they were looking at Kaluma, because Kaluma fit into Kentucky too, and Nelson, that Nelson might look at him to play the 5. Is there anything to that?
That could definitely happen. They could even play some 5 out because Oates is not opposed to that.
Yeah. Well, I think in that case he'd be better off. I watched him, and this is the only time I've seen him, was at the NBA Combine because he played against Oscar.
Yeah.
And he wasn't ready, obviously. He struggled from that end of it. And, he couldn't keep Oscar, he couldn't get by Oscar, rather, when he was on offense, and Oscar was out on the perimeter. And, that's a little bit of a red flag for me. So I think he's got to develop. I know when Kentucky was originally looking at him, I looked at his numbers, he was a 26% three-point shooter. But Alabama could find a way. He's not going to be playing against NBA guys. He's going to be playing against college guys. There's a big difference. So I think he can find a way to make this fit, where obviously he can find the right spot for him. But Nate Oates is really good at that. So I do expect him to be good at Alabama. He's just a guy right there still has some work to do if he wants to, play on the next level. A guy that I'm really kind of interested in is Jaron Stevenson. I cover him from the North Carolina side. It's really down to Alabama and North Carolina. And I'm hearing that, that Alabama would really like him to reclass and come in and play at the 4. And he's, a talented kid, perhaps a future 5-star. I think he needs another year, but from what I hear, Oates thinks he can come and telling him he can come right in and play. So, they're not done with the roster yet.
They're not. Well, great stuff, Coach. We always enjoy the time. And let everybody know how to connect with you. And I know you're going to be on a basketball court tomorrow. You're going to be staying busy.
Yeah, but I'm going to hit the golf course today.
There you go.
We're talking about being on it. I'm going straight to it. But Coach David Sisk at Twitter, and you can find me on the Rivals Network covering both Kentucky and North Carolina.
All right. Well, thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Anytime you need me, you know where I'm at.
All right, David Sisk there. Let's get a break in. We're live from Cherokee Ridge. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Phone lines open to you. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck eastbound on 565 near County Line, Parkway southbound near the 565 interchange, and the 334-mile marker northbound. That's the exit ramp at Priceville going down to Highway 67. They all report as no injury. Snelling has direct hire positions for an experienced payroll accountant and a staff accountant. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Get your tickets at Greatness.
Attention all high school boys and girls basketball players. Ticket to Greatness and Grind Nation have partnered together to bring you the Grind to Greatness High School Recruitment Combine. All athletes will have a chance to showcase their basketball skills directly in front of college coaches. This combine is an NCAA certified event. The boys combine is July 15th and 16th. The girls combine July 22nd and 23rd at Sparkman High School on Jeff Road in Harvest. Register now at Grind, the number 2, greatnesscombine.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to maintain the opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, though it does look like we're going to get a significant period of dry time. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky once again for your Friday, but it is going to be a little bit warmer with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into your Saturday. Partly sunny sky, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s with an isolated shower certainly possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We're live from Cherokee Ridge. It's a breezy Thursday morning.
It is.
At least up here on the patio. from Cherokee Ridge. By the way, if you want a zone deal, you better hurry.
Oh, you better really hurry.
One left.
One left in 23 minutes.
One left. So
23 minutes.
$65 going to get you a round of golf for two. There's one deal left. We started with 60.
You said we sold 16 in a minute. And then I checked during our interview with Coach Sisk, and there was 23 left, and now there's one.
There's one left, so you better hurry if you want the zone deal. WCZN.halfoffdeal.com. That'll get you the half-off deal here to Cherokee Ridge. Hey, let's go out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Bama Bino holding through the break. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. Y'all sound good today.
Thank you, sir.
We're having a good time. We've been able to talk food and cows and golf and football. So, I mean, what more can you accomplish in 2 hours?
Right.
Well, me being a cultured guy and all, a little bit well-rounded and everything, as far as been different cultures, but mainly raised on Sand Mountain, I'd have to put a little fun out there for you. If you go a mile and a half on Sand Mountain without seeing a cows, they're probably at the pond on the other side of the woods. You just can't see them. I thought y'all was more cultured than that. You can just drive right outside of Huntsville and see cows.
Oh, I know. I just wasn't expecting to see one nearly touching my window. That's the one that kind of surprised me. I was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Cal?
You're from Iowa, right?
I know. No, I am getting a kick out of the fact that the cow was that close to Drew's window.
I was like, hey, what up, man?
Yes. I grew up on I did not grow up on a farm. My neighbors were all farmers, so I hung out on farms. I've done plenty of farm work.
I mean, I can
I've
see
raised
the jaws.
cows.
I can see the jaws moving, you know?
I've raised cows and stuff. I'm just getting a kick out of this cow coming this close to Drew.
Yeah. Oh, and now we've got it by 25 minutes.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. It's gone.
They think you're going to feed it. That's probably what it is. They're thinking you're going to throw something out.
Well, at least he didn't lick my window. That really would have freaked me out, man.
Well, I just thought put a little fun out there. But on the front here of the schedule, I was hoping we could get LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn for permanent. Is that still possible?
Well, I think that'll happen in a couple of years, Bama Bino, when they get this TV deal worked out for the 6-3 model. I still think that's where it's going to go, the 9 SEC games. But, we'll see. I mean, right now the permanent opponent's going to be Auburn with a rotating schedule 7-1 model, but I don't think that's permanent. I just think the thing is it's about the money, and they're wanting to get more money out of ESPN and Disney.
Yeah, well, Tiger Stadium at night, first Saturday in November, and the third Saturday in October, and Auburn speaks for itself. So, I mean, you can't give no more money than that, even if that's what you're just going to do, money.
And that's the question, I think, too.
My second team. So, I mean, Alabama's number one with me, but I mean, as far as I worked down there in Louisiana for years, they're great people, and they're not just bitter people. They'll offer you a beer and some shrimp, tailgating.
There we go.
Win or lose. So, I mean, they're just really, really happy people. And Tennessee, they get bitter, but there's some good fans. And Auburn, I've got some great fans, friends that are a lot of great friends that are Auburn people. And I always like sticking my chest out, when we win, and when we lose, I've always got an excuse, but usually secondary coaching, but, or something, or Bill O'Brien. But anyway, I can't use that no more, so. But,
no, you can't.
Guys, got a great show. Love you guys, and best show in the mornings, and y'all do good, and no matter when you're on.
Thank you, Bama Bino. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bama Bino. Yeah. So here's the question. Now, we've been talking about the schedule, and we've talked about the dates, or not dates. We talked about Alabama and Tennessee. Now, the question is, does the SEC, they did very well, I think, in the fact where they kept a lot of these rivalries intact, except for Alabama, Mississippi State, Alabama, Ole Miss. Georgia, Florida is still intact. Arkansas, Texas A&M is still intact. You look at Florida, Georgia, they're still intact. LSU and Alabama is still there. LSU, Texas A&M, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss is still there. The question is, does the SEC keep those in their traditional slots? Are we still?
Are you talking about date-wise?
Date-wise, is Alabama and Tennessee still going to be the third Saturday in October?
Third or fourth.
Is Alabama, Auburn still going to be towards the end of the year? Are we going to get those in the time frames? They did a good job here.
Sankey, it's like Sankey said, I got to keep my job. So he's like, we got to keep a lot of these traditional rivalries. And so they're not going to change when they're playing. Like, you're not going to see Alabama and Auburn playing in September. You're not going to see Alabama and the Vomits, Tennessee, playing in September. That's just not going to, or even November. You're not going to see that. You're going to see.
If they played it in September, would Fatimus Maximus see his shadow?
Who cares? Free Willy. You know what I'm saying? As people can see, I'm not a UT guy, but I respect their program.
Really?
I respect Johnny Majors.
Really?
My main sticking point is Fatimus Maximus, Phil Fulmer. I don't really even have a problem with Josh Heupel. They won the game. Should they have won it? No, but they did. You can't change it.
Right.
He did a great job coaching that team last year. They got a chance to have a really good team again this year, and it makes the league stronger when Tennessee's good. And maybe it is back to being a rivalry with Alabama and Tennessee. For many years, it's been Alabama dominating. Alabama and Auburn has been a rivalry really since Coach Dye got to Auburn, and it's continued because a rivalry is when both sides have their runs. This has been a long run for Alabama against UT. We'll see, but I certainly hope Alabama can reclaim the dominance in Tuscaloosa this year. But, Tennessee, when they're right, they can be very formidable, and they have a very passionate fan base and certainly a lot of tradition, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Let's get a break in. When we come back, Ryan Fowler will join us, get his opinions on the SEC schedules and cows. Why not? It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck reported on 565 eastbound near County Line, one on the Parkway southbound near the 565 interchange, and one at the 334 exit ramp I-65 northbound. That's in Morgan County at Priceville. Those are all being reported as no injury. Popeye Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp, a signature side, and a buttermilk biscuit for $6. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway, at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said,
If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We're going to maintain the opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, though it does look like we're going to get a significant period of dry time. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky once again for your Friday, but it is going to be a little bit warmer with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're essentially going to repeat this process as we head into your Saturday. Partly sunny sky, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s with an isolated shower certainly possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dorton Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And we've talked a lot about the SEC schedules. The SEC made-for-TV primetime event. And everybody thinking of 2024. We still got 2023 to go, but everybody's drawing their attentions to 2024. And I did find this, David Hale, or John Hale put this out there.
John Hale, yeah.
That by playing at Texas in 2024, Kentucky will play the Longhorns as many times in 1 year in the SEC as it has played Texas A&M in 13 years.
I know, crazy,
in the
isn't
league.
it?
And we still don't have Georgia going to Texas A&M. Don't know how Georgia is escaping that after all of these years, but they have yet to not go to Texas A&M. A lot to unpack of the 2024 schedule still.
Yeah, and we are going to unpack it with one of our favorite guys. He is North Alabama's own, and that is the Susan Moore graduate. That is Ryan C. Fowler of The Game, the longest-running radio program on Tide 109. And he is going to give us his thoughts on this schedule release and Alabama football. Ryan, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was over in Fort Payne, Alabama, and I just happened to be cruising through the dial. And you know 97.7, The Zone,
yep.
The only sports station in the Rocket City, as Drew always likes to say. You know you can pick it up, so I just want to say a big hello to my good friends over in Fort Payne, Alabama. Crystal clear over in Fort Payne, Alabama. Heard it with my own ears, so there we go. Hello, good morning, Fort Payne, and good morning, the Rocket City.
Yeah, Fort Payne just had June Jam again.
For the first time in 20, I think. I was going to say, were you at June Jam, Ryan?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And I grew up with those guys. Matter of fact, this station right here, 97.7, used to be located in Aniana, and it was WKLD, big call letters there. And this was the station that I grew up listening to that station, you know, Alabama on. It was a country station. They did play some oldies at times, but it was more of a, you know, community station, carried a lot of high school football, you know, just a real small hometown kind of station. And, yeah, this was the station that I grew up listening to. It was about 10 miles from where I was at, and everybody would sit around on a Friday night because you didn't have Twitter, you didn't have Facebook, and didn't even have really there was no cell phones. I guess you had a bag phone, and you'd find out the scores of the local high schools, and it was a big school board show that people would call in and give evaluations. And I guess that was my first introduction to sports talk radio. But I grew up on the group Alabama and know a couple of the guys. And I had a cousin that worked for the band and got a chance to get to know. They wouldn't know me by Adam's House Cat, but I mean, I feel like I've been in several events with those guys. I've been to cattle sales with Randy Owens, who used to come and buy cattle.
Don't bring up cows. We've been talking cows all morning because Drew we are here at the golf course this morning. We're out here at Cherokee Ridge.
Beautiful.
And Drew on his way in had a cow come almost right up to his window and say hi.
It was what up, cow?
Yeah, I mean, they're friendly, super friendly. And, I mean, I grew up on a cattle farm. I know I take shots at the team across the state, but, no, I mean, I grew up literally. I mean, I'm talking about you walk out my backyard, and it was a cattle farm. And so grew up on a cattle farm and in that area. Matter of fact, where you're at, if you went down the Cherokee Ridge, go down to Arab, go down to 278, turn, it'd be left for you. That whole entire area is actually known as huge Hereford cattle farm, but it's one of the largest in the world right there. As far I don't know about the world, but largest in the United States, and they have a big heifer sale coming up in the fall. And John Hanna's place is right there close to y'all too. I don't know if you know if you realize that, but if you went south about 15 minutes to a little place called Holly Pond. That's where Hanna's place is. So John Hanna's right there. He's a big cattle farm, cattle farm.
He really is. You're right. I mean, he called the show one time, had him on before he spoke at Greenbrier, Ryan, and he told me he was going to call me from the cattle farm out in the field, and I could absolutely hear the you could hear it, man.
Well, Ryan, but believe it or not, we actually had you on to talk SEC football schedules.
It's going to work to ribeyes.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you, Black Angus is no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, Black Angus. Now, I've shown Black Angus. Now, I've done those in big cattle shows. I've shown Black Angus. I've gotten them all dialed up and ready to go. I mean, there's a lot of work that you put into Black Angus shows.
I mean, when you try to take a 1,500-pound animal and you try to keep him completely tame, and you got the scratch bar up underneath the belly, and you're trying to I've never done that, but I had friends of mine who did. I'm sitting there going, man, and a lot of times they'd show a young steer. I know they do the.
Yep. You've done that.
Yeah,
I've had to spray paint the hooves and hairspray the tail and do all kinds of stuff to them to make them all shine and But yeah.
Well, I think we finally need to get on task here.
Why?
Okay, no problem.
At this point, why?
Well, we might as well at least talk about what his thoughts on the SEC schedule. How weird is it going to be with no Ole Miss and Mississippi State for Alabama in 24?
Yeah, and great transition, Drew. So when you look at thinking about this, to me, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, I think I saw it a couple of minutes ago. Alabama has always played Mississippi State, and this will be the first time since 1947.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know exactly what that had to do. I wonder if that had anything to do with a war that was the conflicts that were going on. I'm trying to figure out why they didn't play Mississippi State in 1947. There was a lot of schools that didn't have enough athletes to be able to field a team. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But you look at it'll be weird. I mean, I looked at the schedule. One of the first things that jumped out was like no Mississippi State, because I had heard through behind the grapevine that Alabama kind of preferred to have Mississippi State as one of their three permanent crossovers if we went to 9. Now, we stayed at 8, but you look at Alabama, it's a pretty good schedule here. Going to Oklahoma, I'm not going to say that Brent Venables is going to flip that script a little bit. I didn't see a lot in him and I know we transitioned from Lincoln Riley to Brent Venables, but I didn't see a lot in Oklahoma that made me, that game was kind of scary. So out in Norman, LSU, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, that's manageable. We don't know how exactly Tennessee's going to do, but, Georgia coming to here. And that was my biggest reaction is this is the way I looked at it. Greg Sankey said, hey, Georgia, if you're not going to amp up that schedule, and I know you played in the SEC East, there's nothing you could do about the other teams over there, so that's not your fault. But if you're not going to take it to the next level, we'll do it for you. And they did.
Well, I mean, you look at the rest of the SEC. Did they get it right? Did the SEC get most of it right, keeping a lot of the rivals intact, keeping a lot of these, they gave Alabama still will play Tennessee. We knew they were going to play Auburn, but Tennessee keeps Georgia. Ole Miss does keep Mississippi State. Did they get a lot of it right?
I think so. And I'm just going to add fuel to the fire here with Drew's love for Texas A&M. So, Drew, I'm sorry that I'm going to make you just slobber over these guys, but is it fair to say that Texas A&M has got one of the easier schedules? Is that a fair statement? I mean, like Georgia, they've got to go to Alabama. That's pretty difficult there. They've got to go to Texas. So, I mean, quality there. When I look at Texas A&M, they've got Arkansas and Arlington. That's one of the neutral site games.
Yep.
LSU at home, the Missouri Tigers at home, Texas at home. Then they go to Auburn. I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen, with Hugh Freeze. I think he's going to win some games that he's not supposed to this year, and how quick can he get them back on track? They go to Florida, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. Am I being unfair? That seems like a manageable schedule because you don't have Georgia, you don't have Alabama, no Oklahoma here. I mean, I look at Texas A&M as a manageable schedule. I also saw someone else a couple of minutes ago that.
Well, I mean,
Arkansas.
You look at South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina, you could throw South Carolina in there as well. I mean, they have Alabama, but it's Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Ole Miss. There's some winnable ball games in there for Shane Beamer as of right now. And you look at the way that program is trending.
But I love the way that we're introducing Oklahoma and Texas to the league. And you look at Texas, okay? Our early thoughts, okay, we're just assuming Texas is going to be, they're going to continue that annual tradition of, 5 and 7. I mean, they do 5 and 7 like, Alabama's never had this bad of a. Go look at the number of times they've been 5 and 7. Count them up since 1980. You will be absolutely shocked at 5 and 7. So Texas, let's see if we can get you 5 wins where you can continue the tradition. But you look at Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi State. I mean, we're talking about Texas now. We're not talking about not who they think they are, but who they are when you look at Texas. I mean, because they think that they're the New England Patriots. You ask them, and they'll tell you that. But then you look at Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. This is not that Big 12. They're probably going to lose multiple games. Texas A&M on the road. I know we'll all be glued into that, but we'll welcome these guys into the SEC. This is not that Big 12 that you play in out there.
Yeah, we were joking about that earlier in the show that there's not going to be there's only one Vandy in this league, but they're not going to like a third or fourth of the Big 12. I mean, I even joked that Georgia played Wofford in the national championship game. It seemed like so. They're not going to be those kind of opponents.
Yeah, and I like what Greg. I was about to say Byrne, but Greg Sankey said down in Sandestin.
Right.
Does anybody else have that trouble? Greg Byrne, Greg Sankey. I mean, it's like I have to stop and make sure I say the correct one. But Greg Sankey, when you look at what he said, he said, they asked him, so what do you say to the other opponents that aggravate your schedule? And he just repeated the Georgia TCU score. He said, that's what I say. And what was it, like 65-7 or whatever? Yeah. So he just repeats it. But I like it because Georgia now has a schedule of difficulties. Because right now, at this point, they're just sitting in Atlanta. Right now. Yeah. I mean, we haven't even got to the season. 79 days away from the start of college football, and Georgia's just already there. They've been able to navigate this water, and it's good that the SEC is kind of taking that to the next level, amping it up a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. They are amping it up, no question about it. And certainly it's going to be a very interesting and I guess, Ryan, we haven't had a chance to speak with you about it, but We've been saying that we think they're going to go to 9. They're going to get more money out of Disney. Ultimately, do you think within a couple of years that's what's going to happen? Is that Greg Sankey's end game is the 6-3 schedule model and going to 9?
Let me also kind of work this in. I do. That, you always ask me how that impacts Alabama, and we had Greg Byrne on a couple days ago because he'd made a statement that there's some things that we would have to undo with our future non-conference because, you look at Alabama, we've got to go to Wisconsin. We have to go to Camp Randall in that 2024. So South Florida, I know, is a non-conference game. So when you look at this non-conference schedule combined with the SEC, if you go to 9, and so on Friday when I had Greg Byrne on my show, I asked him if there was some written language in the contract that would give him that flexibility. And he said, yes, absolutely. So they've got the ability to pull back some of this. I'm not sure that what that would have to fulfill with the contract, but he did tell me that on the air because I asked him. I said, "You said that. Is there some, language in that contract that would give you that flexibility?" So now you kind of understand why. I mean, what if you had to go to 9 conference games? And so let's just say Alabama. Let's just pick up a random team, and why don't we say somebody that you're not playing? Man, I look at Missouri. They don't belong in the SEC. I mean, I literally want to block them out with my hand. So, but you look at the Missouri Tigers. They already played Alabama. Oh, just pick an Ole Miss. We are talking about Ole Miss. So what if you were Alabama and you played Auburn, Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, Ole Miss, LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, at Wisconsin, and then South Florida here. And I'm not sitting here playing South Florida is the world beaters, but that's a pretty respectable opponent. Alabama goes to South Florida this year when you go down to Tampa. So just plug an Ole Miss in there, and then you got 9 games plus the Wisconsin and South Florida. All I know is they better find a quarterback because if you're going to go on the road and challenge some of these guys, you better have that chin strap buckled just a little bit tighter.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ryan, we appreciate it, man. We hope you have a great show today. We know you're busy. You got a bunch of people wanting your opinion on this SEC scheduling. And, of course, we'll have the SEC Media Days soon in Nashville. We'll enjoy spending time with you there. But we always appreciate you coming on with us.
Absolutely. It's always an honor to be on this station. I hope you guys have a great morning. Thank you, Drew and Scott.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's get a break in. Tomorrow's headlines will wrap us up from Cherokee Ridge coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It looks like we're going to wrap things up this morning in pretty good shape. Haven't picked up anything new accident-wise. Looking at the areas where we had wrecks earlier, they seem to be moving okay. Still may have a little slowdown at the 334 northbound coming off I-65 at Priceville. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in Huntsville is the perfect place to celebrate Father's Day this year, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com. And to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, there you go. Welcome back. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We're here at Cherokee Ridge, and it has been a fantastic day so far, and we've been watching everybody kind of take out to the golf course. A little breezy out here, but the golf course is in fantastic shape here at Cherokee Ridge. We've been out here and not going to get around in today. Got a lot of stuff to do, but it is open.
Some people will on Father's Day because it was 25 minutes.
Yeah, it took 25 minutes for the zone deal to go bye-bye. But that doesn't mean you still can't come out here and enjoy Cherokee Ridge. I mean, get on out here. They've got the fancy new golf carts. The golf course is in great shape. The greens are in great shape. I mean, just looking out here right now, it makes me just want to stay out here for the rest of the day. But we've got the 2023 Rocket City Awards coming up on Monday, so that's not going to let me stay out here all day.
Just a little bit of overcast, not a lot of humidity, not a lot of sun, and some breeze. You know what I'm saying?
Good news is the Atlanta Braves beat the Detroit Tigers yesterday twice.
Yeah.
After losing to them in the opening of this series, they beat them twice yesterday in a doubleheader. So that's the good news.
Everyday Eddie.
And the Mets lost to the Yankees yesterday. They're still 4 games below 500.
Yeah.
The Mets are. And another pitcher, by the way, New York now. The Mets have had 2 pitchers get suspended for 10 games for using sticky substances.
Have they checked, Max's stuff?
Yeah, well, he got suspended 10 games, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And then they had a pitcher the other day, another pitcher gets suspended 10 games for using a foreign substance.
No. Probably wasn't from a cow.
I want to see these cows. When we drive out, I want to
maybe see them again because I got to leave. I got to get back. That's the brilliance of radio. I got to do another show.
I want to see the cows that nearly dethroned you from getting here on the way out.
I'll be on the other side of the road this time, though. But I might get stuck by one of the golf carts. He's going to have to give me the okay to pass him, I guess.
The cow or the golf cart?
The golf cart. I can't run over somebody in a golf cart. I mean, come on. You got to pay respect. They live here, not me.
The cows do, too. We got to get a 24-hour break in. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Heary, heary! If you want freedom and independence from those high temperatures and those high utility bills,